What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Raptor Man. So I do apologize. It's been a couple of days, I don't know, 3 or 4 days actually, since my last little quick video. Man, I got really busy. It's kind of hectic right now. I'm kind of all over doing all sorts of stuff, but as promised, I wanted to make this really short video. Try to make it as short as possible. I want to talk about a certain thing, and then I'll tell you about my doozy. So let's jump right into it. Here at the last, 2 or 3 weeks, it seems like YouTube, there were some discussions with other YouTubers about other YouTubers, pulling some BS with drivers and calling people's companies and, calling people's companies and calling in and reporting whatever it is they were reporting, and for whatever the motive behind it, trying to either get people fired or get them in trouble with their boss or whatever. I've been driving truck long enough to know that, to me, I have a certain opinion on that, and I just don't think, unless a driver puts your life in jeopardy in some form or fashion with something super unsafe, like pulling out in front of you and you having to slam on the brakes, something like that. Hold on, I gotta move. Here, let me put you down here, guys. Bear with me here. So basically, here's my opinion on this. All right. Outside of that, there's really, in my opinion, we're all truck drivers out here, and I've got that old school mentality. I don't think there's any reason. I don't give a shit how bad you don't like somebody for whatever the reason. It doesn't even matter. For whatever the reason, I don't feel there's any justification for calling somebody's company and trying to get them in trouble or trying to get them fired. Because let's be honest, if somebody feels that it's necessary to call another driver's company, your intent is to get somebody fired. That's just all there is to it. So your intent is just to get somebody fired, and so therefore, let me move you guys back up here. Therefore, to me, that's you're a piece of shit. That's all there is to it. You're a piece of shit. I don't care, if you don't agree with somebody, or because every company's got them, right? Every company out here has got 1 or 2 drivers that are brown nosers. They want to get brownie points with the bosses, or you do something that they don't agree with, or it should be done differently, or whatever the case is, okay? It doesn't matter. Every company has these drivers that, hold on guys, got to move you back, sorry. Every company has them. And it can be small companies, it can be big companies like mega carriers, it doesn't matter, especially the mega carriers. Every company has them. You get 1 or 2 drivers that feel like they want to be the boss, or they are the boss and they're really not. They're not shit but another driver. They don't have no power, they don't have no authority, they don't have no say-so, but in their mind, they feel like there's some form or fashion they're calling the shots by calling the boss and saying, hey, so-and-so is doing this, or I seen so-and-so do this and do that, or whatever. So you know, it's you're a piece of shit. That's all there is to it. In my book. Because if there's something going on between two drivers within the same company, or even without a separate company, it doesn't even matter. If there is an issue, if you have an issue with another driver so bad that whatever it was they did, you felt justified in calling the guy's company and telling the boss whatever, even if it's something, even if the guy did it or didn't do it, it doesn't matter. If you feel it's necessary to go to that extent to call somebody's boss, in my opinion, then your problem is big enough to handle it like grown-ass men, like truck drivers. Not these pussified wannabe truck drivers, super truckers. I mean, we're all grown-ass men out here. That's at the end of the day, we're all grown-ass men. We're truck drivers out here. And we work in an industry where you can't be sissified. And that's the problem with America nowadays. Everybody's so damn sissified. So, sorry about that, guys. I got a lot of stuff going on my phone. I do apologize if it's really loud. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, settle that shit like men, okay? Either you're gonna whoop ass or you're gonna get your ass whooped. That's how I feel it should be settled, okay? Don't call somebody's company and you know, try to get somebody fired because they didn't do something that you felt they should have did differently, or, you know, whatever the case is. All right, it doesn't matter. To me, that's some chicken shit coward. Okay? That's all there is to it. There's no justification for it. There's just not. So, that's how I feel about it. Now, my doozy is, the reason why I'm speaking on this is because I'm speaking on this from firsthand experience. As you guys know, you know, I'm running local. I'm doing farming and stuff. I come off the road from being an owner-operator to come back to doing some farming. And the company I was with, I'm no longer there. I got fired. Okay? I got fired for something that I didn't even do. No kidding. This is not even no YouTube shit where, you know, I don't want to tell you guys what the deal is or nothing like that. That has nothing to do with it. I got fired. I got fired, and I'd only been there 3 months. I don't get fired from jobs because I don't do shit to get fired for. But this company I was working for, this farming company, you know, as you guys know, I was driving truck, you know. There was one guy, one driver, that watched everybody, was constantly talking to the bosses every single day. Put you back over for just a short second. Sorry, guys, I'm sitting in the grain line. Constantly calling the bosses every day just to talk to them. Bullshit. Now, while it's a small company, okay, it was a company, I think about, I don't know, like 20 some trucks. I mean, it's a small company, a mediocre company, whatever. Everybody's driving 579 Peterbilts, except for one guy. Mr. Brown Noser was driving a W900. That was my first flag when I first hired on. And I saw that because I'm thinking, well, you know, why is this one driver? And he's a young kid, okay? I know he's not been driving long enough. He ain't been driving longer than me. But he ain't been driving long enough to warrant having a W900 versus everybody else has got 579s and stuff, you know, with the short sleepers on them. Sorry guys, got to move you again. I do apologize, people. I really do. I appreciate you guys understanding and bearing with me here. So that was my first flag. But then, you know, after I hired on, all the other drivers that I had met throughout, you know, the time, every one of them told me to watch out for this guy. Watch out for him. He'll narc you out. He'll rat on you. He'll do this, that. Well, I'm like, well, I'm not worried about that because I don't do nothing for anybody to rat on me for. But we did have some drivers that like fucking off and taking their time and doing this and doing that, things that they wasn't supposed to. So the problem was, I wouldn't kiss this guy's ass, is what it was. And here's the funny part. I'd added the boss on my Facebook. I'd added the payroll lady on my Facebook and a couple other drivers on my Facebook. Well, I did not add this goody two-shoe brown noser driver that I'm referring to. I didn't add him on Facebook. And I think that's initially why he targeted me, because I added everybody else but not him. Well, if I got a whole fleet of drivers telling me, hey, this guy's bad news, I'm going to take heed to it. And not only that, but, you know, I took my own understanding as well, you know. Every time I was around a guy, I watched his personality, and he had that personality like he was better than everybody else, and, you know, like he knew what was going on, and yada, yada, yada. But anyway, so this kid got me fired because he kept calling the boss, telling the boss that I was on the CB at one of the plants, steadily talking shit, and I don't do that. And every time the boss would call me, he would say, you know, tell me don't do it. And I said, well, I'm telling you, boss. I said, it ain't me. I don't know who's doing what or what they're saying, but it ain't me. Well, this guy wanted to get me fired. That was his goal. And, I mean, I was kind of on the fence because I felt, well, if you're going to fire somebody over some dumb shit. Now, that, of course, that's not per se the only reason why the boss said he fired me. But the other reasons was because I started at 7 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock. So based on that, I didn't get enough, you know, I wasn't getting enough loads in like everybody else. Whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever. That's a chicken shit reason. All it is, you trying to justify your brown noser. And you didn't want your brown noser to be, you know, singled out like a rat. So anyway, long story short, they fired me. Just that quick. And I'm not the only one. Other drivers that have had problems with this guy. This guy has taken pictures of inside of the spare trucks that people have driven. And you know, if they've left it unclean or not clean enough, like his satisfaction, he would take pictures of the inside of the trucks and send them to the boss to try to get them guys either in trouble or fired. Luckily for those guys, you know, they wasn't fired. But to me, that's your chicken shit. You're a punk coward, and when you do shit like that, you're a piece of shit in my book. I've yet to run it, and I'm under the new company, obviously, because I'm in a truck now, as you can see. And here, see, I'm sitting in a grain line ready to dump. Okay, so I have to cut this video kind of short, but so that's my doozy. I got fired for some BS bullshit reason that I didn't even do, all because of a brown-nosing punk. And that's all he is, a brown-nosing punk. And if I ever run into him. Now, I do come into these plants where he comes into, so I will see him again. And when I do, best believe your boy Raptor Man is going to hold true to his word. And I'm going to call him out right to his face. So that's because I'm that way. You know, I'm not only a truck driver, but I'm also a fucking biker, so, you know, I don't play with that shit. You don't get somebody fired because they didn't add you on their Facebook or whatever the stupid shit was. But because that's the only other reason that I could come up with, think of, because I was never disrespectful to the guy, never. But he felt the need he you know, whatever, he took it personal, whatever. So he singled me out. So it's all right, not a big deal. I got another job. We're doing okay for now. We're still working out a lot of kinks with this job, but that's okay, not a big deal. We'll get it figured out. But so we're still trucking. And after all this, I contemplated being done. I did. Trucking is just not trucking anymore. It's not. So I contemplated being done with trucking. I talked to my wife about it. I was going to get out of the truck. I was going to hang it up. I was going to go back, you know, doing factory work, something like that. But I thought, no, I'm not going to let some piece of shit like this, you know, ruin my career on what I love to do. So that's how I look at it. But so the moral of the story is, if you're one of these guys that you want brownie points, the company don't give a shit about you. They don't. Oh, they love the information you're giving them, but they don't. Why would you want to step on your fellow drivers who are doing the same thing that you're doing, who are trying to provide for their families? You want to take food out of their family's mouth because somebody wouldn't add you on Facebook? That's a coward move. To me, you're not a truck driver. You never have been, never will be. So that's my take on it, but it is what it is. So on that note, I guess I'll close it up here. I just figured I'd share with you guys. You guys got to be careful out there. Be careful of these drivers, because just because they're on the same team as you don't mean they won't cut your throat. So I hope everybody, you know, is having a good 2020. I'm doing okay. Started off a little rough, but we're recovering. We're all right. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, that's all I got for now. I just want to keep it short. I want to keep you guys in tune with what was going on in my life, and that's where we're at. So, all right, man. You guys be easy. And again, as always, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you liked the video. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And you know I'm real good about responding. So, you guys are awesome. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys that subscribe. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much. As always, you know how we do it. Give me some knuckles.